top in the world.
Today, the chaos of the land will end, and we will build a world of peace.
Let this be our final battlefield.
I shall drive the enemy back. Notch that one up to me. Truly amazing.
I thought I understood when I began fighting in the name of friendship, but now Mitsunari is dead. The Kanetsugu my enemy. What purpose do I have left?
Can't take much more of this! Forward! We shall have the commander's head!
Come get me!
Look out! Here I come! Look out! Here I come!
Knock that one up to me!
You are an asset to this army.
Knock that one up to me!
I guess you're not all talk after all.
Notch that one up to me!
Incredible!
Not disappointing! Notch that one up to me! Truly amazing!
Your pal Kanetsugu is holding fast to the Sanada Ward. Isn't that the place that's key to winning this battle?
Yes, and that is why I will slay Kanetsugu.
Castle East, seal. Cannot pass. We'll bombard the main keep. Get ready.
Hurry! We must destroy their cannons!
Ieyasu, you are hopeless without your cannon.
We still have the advantage. We shall press the attack until we win.
Not disappointing! Knock that one up to me!
Look out! Here I come!
Knock that one up to me! Notch that one up to me!
You are an asset to this army.
I'm making a name for myself!
My lord, I am coming!
And I'll just have to bring the pain to you.
Notch that one up to me! Truly amazing!
The Tokugawa main camp is heavily guarded. We're gonna seize the Sanada Ward in order to win. And it is defended by Kanetsugu.
Look out! Here I come! Let's kill these morons who stand against us.
Our allies have collapsed under a fierce enemy attack.
Knock that one up to me!
Incredible!
The gates to the Sanada Ward have opened. It's as though Kanetsugu is calling out to me.
Look out! Here I come!
Knock that one up to me!
I guess you're not all talk after all.
Notch that one up to me!
You are an asset to this army.
This does not look good.
Notch that one up to me!
I guess you're not all talk after all.
This will weaken the defenses of the Tokugawa's main camp.
I'm making a name for myself!
Osaka Castle is ready to fall. We need only take control of the main keep, sever Hideyori's head, and with it the chaos that has ruined this land.
I need help! Now! We must not die in vain. All units? Sure! We will never die! Death to the Tokugawa!
Notch that one up to me! Truly amazing! I'm making a name for myself! Must stay strong!
My honor is lost. I will be unable to face Mitsunari
I'm making a name for myself! That one up to me!
You are an asset to this army. Look out! Here I come! I thank you for your help!
Notch that one up to me! Truly amazing!
The only way you'll get past me is in pieces.
Notch that one up to me!
Incredible! I need help! Now!
You couldn't have come at a better time! Not disappoint me! Not disappoint me!
Thanks. I can't believe I needed assistance.
Notch that one up to me! Truly amazing! Notch that one up to me!
You are an asset to this army.
Notch that one up to me!
I guess you're a little smart after all.
Notch that one up to me!
Incredible. It seems I am unable to match the bravery of my father.
I'm making a name for myself!
Can't take much more of this. I certainly can't discount your spirit. You match my skill. Can't take much more of this.
I need help! Now!
Notch that one up to me! That's the way the Devil Shibata's army fights!